So go ahead. Take it away, people. I'll be quiet.
Lead us.
All right, good morning to everybody who's here. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. We're probably just going to do a quick answer session. We're going to be answering questions that we got from the AMA forum that's been up there for about a week or so now. It'll probably be about 30 minutes, but we're going to do them more often so you get regular updates from us now. The people who we've got here today are Bitbender, we've got Paladin, we've got Deuterino, Volcron, and Mal, who is missing. Let me find him. See if we can get his mic to work also.
Hello. Yay.
There he is.
Hello.
Right.
So we're going to do these AMAs to try to focus more on facts and being honest instead of just putting out their lofty dreams. That way you guys know exactly what's happening all the time and try to build some trust here. So let's move on into the first question, which is about bugs and how the situation with bugs is going. Mal, you want to take that one?
Yeah, keep it simple. Everyone on the team's aware the most recent ones, just getting your storage and stuff placed down, so that'll be fixed soon.
Awesome. One of the next most popular questions that we get is when Ledger of Truth? Would you like to take that one on, Volcron?
Yeah. Well, so when Ledger of Truth is right now, I mean, it's already running. So we're already looking at everything you guys do. So whenever there's competitions or play and earn, whatever, everything you do we're already seeing it. So that's been up for months. So even though we don't do rollbacks in the play and earn, we can still see what's going on. And right now we're taking a lot of our Ledger of Truth work and we're moving to our Godot port, which if you all are interested or even paying attention, that is a server authoritative model. So that is also a large anti-cheat.
We should take a minute and dig into that a little bit. I'm kind of hijacking your format a little bit here, Michelle. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure, because this is one of the things that I see a lot of people asking questions about when they talk about some of the challenges facing Townstar with the current system. And that is, the current system is designed to be client authoritative, right? So whatever your device says is considered truth for your device.
Yes.
The problem is that what that means is that it is impossible to do something like gems, for example, when you could just go into your client if you are clever enough and say, I've got a bunch more gems, right? That doesn't work very well. So I think the major point of relevance here is that the Ledger of Truth work that has been done to create a server authoritative tracker and model of what happens in game is going to be really important to the broader Godot port. Ledger of Truth gets built into that as a fundamental foundational concept, and I think that's a super important thing to dig into. I just want to make sure everyone understands the significance of that.
Yeah, much better said than how I was phrasing it. Yeah, thank you.
It's my superpower, man. Don't feel bad.
I love it.
All right, so moving on to the next question. I've got what order events need to happen before earnings can resume?
I'll jump in on that, Michelle. So everybody's asking, we stopped the town coin distribution earlier in the week. And of course, one of the big questions is, when is it coming back? We say that it's temporary. And can you tell us a date? Some people are asking for a milestone schedule. They want to know my plans, want to know the team plans, how we're running the project, all that. I can share some things, from the point of view of being able to stand here and share truth and reality so that you guys can count on what we said. We've got two timelines running right now inside the team. One is the timelines for the competition and feature work we're doing in August in the version of Townstar that's up and running now. And that's a rolling timeline, sort of like we've been doing before. We think about a few weeks ahead of time what we're going to do. We implement the art and the code necessary, and then we share that with you guys. So that's going to be substantially similar. The other timeline that we're running is what happens with the Godot tech update. And we have some internal targets for that plan, but it's just too premature to share what those are. Again, I want to be able to stand up here and say, here's what we're going to do and how long it's going to take. We just don't know that right now. We're still in the very early stages of that and coming up with that plan. And I will tell you that we have some targets in the next couple of weeks to have our plan together. And actually, we're already started working on it. I think we've mentioned in the past that the Godot work started over a month ago, but we're just doing some replanning with this new thinking around economy, new features. So in parallel to doing the Godot tech work, we're also, like I mentioned, working on evolving the economy and planning out features that we want to have in the game that work with the evolved economy, but also some of all the features that everybody in the community has been mentioning, we know as a team that we want to add. So there's a lot of planning work going on right now, and when we're ready, we'll be able to share those definitely.
I'd like to lean in here for a second and talk a little bit about ways of communication and the way that I think that is perceived. I've spent a lot of time along with all of you, and certainly all of us on this stage, in the Townstar discussion channel over the last week and a half. A lot more than I've spent in this channel in a very long time. And I think that there's there has been a feeling that the communication has not been good enough in the past. So one of the things that we're looking to do with these types of stages and stand-ups, and this is something that if you've been in Gala for a really long time, you'll sort of remember from the early days. We want to connect more deeply with everybody here in this community. We want to make sure that you guys are aware of what's going on, that you have an adequate understanding of all of as many of the intricacies as we can share, so that you sort of know what to expect. So expect a lot more communication like this, and a lot more information coming your way. So that's something that we're aiming to do, and this is part of that.
Yeah, definitely. And to add on to that, Michelle, what were we calling those? Like touch points, or more frequent discussions that we're now calling touch points instead of trying to turn them into giant, big events or AMAs. What we're just dropping the community. Yeah, you want to share the thinking on that?
Well, we're going to try to do probably either text or via the stage, like weekly or bi-weekly touch points, maybe with bigger AMAs monthly, so that we can try to get as much information out and let you know where we are in the progress of what's going on a regular basis, just so you don't feel like you're in the dark anymore. So
yeah,
we're definitely going to do our best.
Awesome.
All right, we want to move on to the next question.
Yeah, let's do it.
We got, what is the deal with gems, and are there any other town utilities in mind?
Yeah, so I can take that one. So I'll pass this over to you as well, Bitbender. But in terms of gem utility and in-game side of things, just think, what would you want to do with it? We get so many suggestions. We've got a big list, whether it's speed ups, buy buildings, move buildings, all the different things you can think of. We've got a long list, so I wouldn't worry on that. If you've got any ideas, you're always welcome to just tell us what you would like gems for. So, and no, that's a bit of a code word as well. Gems might just change into a different name.
I certainly hope it does, my God.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll hand over to you, Bitbender, and you can explain anything you want to add on around that.
Oh no, I don't have anything specific that I need to add on to that. Just that the ability to have gems as a component within the ecosystem is going to be something I think that helps add a lot of utility to town, and that makes playing the game a much more pleasant experience for everybody, because you can kind of leverage some of those free to play sort of loops and use gems to speed up and do all sorts of different things like that. I'm excited about gems.
I'm also very excited about gems. I think it's going to be an awesome addition to the game. Pretty excited to see what kind of cool stuff we can come up with to use gems for.
Darn has a good point here. It might not be good for the brand, but saying gems and everyone understands premium currency.
Yeah.
That is true. We could call it anything else, but gems, people automatically know what it is.
All right, let's move on to the next question here. We've got, will NFTs have the same town points in the future, and how will my existing NFTs play a role in the new town star? Anyone?
I would love to take that. I have not discussed this with anyone, so I'm just gonna say some shit and hope the Paladin doesn't get angry at me.
Okay, I'll listen.
We can't change the town points of your NFTs. That would be totally ridiculous. That's not like we can add NFTs. We can change what town points means as the economy evolves, and that's certainly something that we have to do to make sure that we're building a healthy economy. But if your NFT earns X town points, it should continue earning X town points. That would be a fundamental nerf that I don't think we would want to consider, especially because there's no point for that. Do you disagree with that at all?
I 100% agree with that, and you said it as you often do, very simply and eloquently. So thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah, I just can't imagine us being like, yeah, well, this was 100 points before, but now it's 10. Get fucked. We're never gonna do that.
I think when I look at NFTs right now, they feel like they are the game pieces on the game board, and sort of like chess pieces on a chessboard. We're not going to go in and change the chess pieces around. Maybe how they fit into the economy, certainly, like you mentioned. But those are things that are fundamental parts of the game. What we will do is expand around them, add more pieces, add different styles of play. But those pieces will still be there.
And utility-wise, I get asked this a lot. If it's still the same NFT, maybe there's a slight difference, but in terms of what it does in the game, that's a big one I see people asking. I wouldn't expect those to change too dramatically.
No, I wouldn't expect them to either. And in fact, I think that what you're going to see is, and I'm just going to throw this out here too, is you're going to see, due to the fact that we're moving everything over to Godot, it will be easier to make some changes and make some tweaks as we go forward. I would expect some NFTs to pick up additional utilities because it's easier to give them additional utilities in the world. Does that scan, Paladin?
I would say your word "expect" that's an option. I would change that to there's an option for that. But okay. You're 100% accurate that making changes, updates, and upgrades are much easier in the new engine. Much easier. So we'll be expanding. Lots of expansion.
I like expansion. Can we? Somebody mention this. This is my irritating question that I'm going to ask.
Sure.
Can we change the board to 17 by 17 so I can have a middle square so I can make it actually symmetrical so my OCD doesn't kill me every time I play Townstar? Pretty please.
We'll add that to the very short list of BitBend requests, priority requests.
Doug Sunny supports this.
I do. So speaking of expansion, one of the things we know we will be doing is expanding the game board. Not exactly sure which version or which direction we'll take on that, because there's a couple of different ones if you look across history of this type of games and how people expand the play space. But that's definitely on the list.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome. Let's move on. So the next round of questions is about competitions. We got, what are we doing to address the cheaters in the competition? For example, the refresh bug and NFT transferring.
There's a couple interesting... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Take it, man.
I was just going to say, those people who are transferring NFTs, I am watching, and more of us are watching this time, so I wouldn't do that if you are planning on playing in the competitions.
Well, there's a couple other things here that we can talk about that I don't think we've really talked much about. The first is that as we move forward, and this is not something that we're actively discussing in relation to Townstar right now, but it will be something that eventually happens. When we port everything from the ERC 1155 contract to Jiri, a lot of the things that are fungible tokens right now will eventually become actual non-fungible tokens. And what that means is that you may have fountain number 472. Fountain number 472 can only earn points once per day. Send it around as many times as you want, and only one person will ever be able to claim anything on it. It's not like the ERC 1155s where they have figured out how to kind of like cheat around the edge of it. This is going to be a big change that happens, and I think it's going to make things a lot better.
I 100% agree. They'll be unique.
I'm gonna and sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say they're going to be unique. It's hard to track a stack of coins, but when each coin in that stack is unique or easily tracked, much simpler, right?
That is the truth. And I'm gonna dig in really quick on a question that I'm seeing in chat, because I am watching the Townstar discussion chat, and I know that Michelle has a list of questions and is going through them and probably sitting there going, "Jason, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?" But Magipto, he says, "Ha ha ha! Didn't you guys implement a 40% reduction in town coin and call it town points instead? What really is the difference when you said you won't change the actual town earning of each NFT? Come on, guys." Okay, so this is a rather fundamental economic point. Okay, the entire purpose of having an ecosystem in which people can play and earn, okay, at all, is to have a stable economy. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. This is one of those situations where, here. Let me ask you a question, Mark. When you were a kid, how much was a Coke?
Oh, about a quarter.
Yeah, Coke was a quarter, right? When I was a kid, it was like 99 cents out of the Coke machine, right? Now I go back and it's like the Coke machine takes credit cards and it's like $2.50 now or something ridiculous like that. You have to have a stable economy in order for this to work, period. And so this is why it's really important to do things like constrain the emission of town. Okay, the ratio of the town being distributed based on town points is always going to be the same. Okay, you have a thing that earns 1,000 town points. There's X number of points in the distribution. You get your certain amount of town, whatever that happens to be. But it's not possible to create a something that is stable, a stable economy, while also massively inflating the supply constantly. It doesn't work. And this is why we're doing what we're doing. It is to protect the game, to protect the economy, and to protect the players. That's what it's about. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, no, thank you for emphasizing that. To your point, longer term game health, fun for the community, entertainment, something that you can come at and enjoy. We need to fix and stabilize the economy, evolve it into a state that actually works and works well long term, and that's what we're doing.
And we are recording this AMA, guys, I believe, and we'll probably post it somewhere.
Michelle, back to you. Were we at competitions?
Yeah, we're still at competitions. So the next question is, why can't we have more competitions more often like it used to be?
Well, everyone knows I love the competition, so we are definitely looking into ways to expand the different types of competitions, the way we run them, how we run them, what we do in them. We're looking at ways to really make it a lot more fun and try new things. So, yeah, I look forward to that.
And then can we stretch out rewards to more than 1,000 people?
Oh, hey, let me jump in on that. So, it feels weird to me, and tell me what you guys think. It feels weird to me if like the same 5 to 7 people win every single competition and all the money goes just to them. or all the rewards go just to them. So yeah, I'd love to spread that out. Love to make it more interesting and fun, so that you can participate and just not, not sort of give up halfway through when you know that people are pulling away from you. So yes, we've had discussions. We don't have an exact plan on that, but actually, Mal and I were up to, I don't know how late. I think I went to bed at 11, so that's like 5 a.m. Mal time to working on this new form of competition that does that.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. The next question we've got are there any plans to change the competition format from a live competition to a more flexible time? And will there ever be a time when the game will run without it having to be open all the time?
Yeah, Mal, you take that first part. I'll take the second part.
Yeah, the style of competition, where maybe there's a 20 hours during the week and you sort of pick your 20 hours and it's recorded and tracked in some way. We are looking at all the different ways we can run competitions that are fun and friendly for everyone, and just different types in general are more fun. But I'll let Paladin say the next part.
Yeah, so remember when Bitbender was talking a little earlier about the architecture being client authoritative, or what the client says goes. That's why you have to keep your window open, because if you don't, the game doesn't run. It's just simple as that. When we move to Godot, the simulation will be running on the server, and so you'll be able to play your game. You say, okay, I've set up my town, I got it running, got it ready, all the things are done. I'm now going to shut down that window and save power, shut my computer off for the night or whatever. Come back in the morning, you open it up, the town will have progressed as if the window is still open. So it's just a matter of changing that tech up there. And I'm a super fan of that, because nothing like starting your town up and having to keep that window open through power outages and everything else. So. Meaning sarcastically, you don't want to have to do that. So yes, very much so. I'm excited about it, if you can tell. Very nice.
Great news.
Very nice. I see that in the chat, Imp.
The next set of questions is about nodes. Do we have any plan for utility or utility timeline?
I want to talk about nodes.
Go for it.
So I was talking to Mark the other day, and we were talking about nodes. And this is something that we have gotten tons and tons and tons of questions on since we paused the town distribution. Sometimes like spittle-flecked invectives of like, why do we not have nodes? Why are we not rewarding nodes? Because blah 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 blah, all of that. So we were looking at ways that we could potentially reward node operators who are keeping their nodes up and running. And we started thinking about, what would it be like? And let's see what everyone thinks about this. What would it be like if instead of receiving town right now, which you can't, if we were to track the fact that your nodes are on and reward gems for use in game. What do you guys think of that as an idea for the time being? Oh, that's a cool GIF.
That is.
I love the Salt Bay guy. I really want to go to one of his restaurants. I think it's important. But anyway, that's something that we were talking about, because we know that people are running nodes, and we want to make sure that that's a good thing, for the ecosystem and for them.
Seems like
awesome. People sound pretty excited about that.
Nice.
All right, moving on. The next question is, what about Jimmy?
Jimmy. I just learned about Jimmy. It was way before my time. I like the idea of Jimmy because it's social. It seemed fun, and the name's fun. And I already started thinking about what if we could bring Jimmy back in a way that works for everybody. But also, what if we had a special form of Jimmy that was only in the tournaments, and we call him Timmy? But yeah, I think that just touches on the bigger aspect of social in a game. Yeah, I'm having made for a long time games that you play with other people, even before Facebook games, and then certainly with Facebook, there's a lot of social gameplay. Play with your friends and all that. I fundamentally believe that's what one of the big core design vectors we're going to explore and create features around inside. As we evolve and move forward with Townstar. Definitely very critical. I think if you take a game experience, if it's fun, if you play it with your friends, it's even more fun. Right? Now, one of the things that came up last night are people saying, "Oh, wait, will people be able to come and visit my town?" Yes. Can you turn that off because you want to hide your secret layout? Yes. So don't worry about that. But some people like the idea of decorating, or they want to show off their town, a popularity contest or something like that. Those things are definitely on the list of things that we're exploring and planning. Now, I got to just say a quick caveat. They're on the list of things to do, and so also are a bunch of other things. And we just have to prioritize them. But you can count on social being a fundamental part of the game going forward.
Beautiful. Next question. Will there be more content more often? More new content come in?
I'll take that one. So I'll say yes, absolutely. There's increased capacity on design, art, and engineering, so we can create and implement more content for current and future players. The increase in capacity will also let us maintain focus on the higher priority stuff, like we're talking about, like economy and porting to Godot. Mal, do you want to talk about the specific content?
And I was distracted typing in Discord. So we already know about the beehive stuff. So I'm not going to say much more on that. But I know if anyone's been paying attention in Discord, you may be seeing some leaks about the next metas. Not sure if anyone cares enough, though. I don't know if does anyone here care enough for some August metas? I'm going to assume not. Not seeing anyone in the chat say it, so should we just skip over that one? Looks like no one cares. Past Honey.
Yes,
We got one.
S2 and S2 said yes.
Oh, we got two. Yeah. Okay, so we know about Honey. What I will say is, for August, it's going to be really helpful if you can do 2 builds. Wine and uniforms. And that is all I'm going to say.
Interesting. All right, so moving on to the next question here. We've got, when will we be able to use the ice-covered lands? Will it ever be possible? Anyone?
Sorry, reading Discord again. So we were speaking about the Icelands. This comes down to like biome specific type stuff. So I'm hoping with the new engine, that type of thing's easy to sort of look at and build features around. In my mind, I'd love to have stuff like eider down ducks, or any sort of like the way salt works red if not near an ocean. The same type of thing, but for some animals and crops and specific biomes. It's things to look at, and if it makes the game fun and everyone wants it, then we can speak about it.
So I definitely look forward to playing in the ice. I like the ice. All right, so the next question is specifically for Paladin. You've probably joined the Townstar team and played, but what do you think is the most important for your medium to long-term success?
I'm going to say the medium-term, long-term success for the game and the team, the community, is pretty simple. It just boils down to a few things. More gameplay, actual gameplay, that you actually play, where you actually play the game. Right now there's a lot of idle play where you set up your town and then you check on it, maybe you tweak it a little bit once in a while. But I'm talking about like real show up, do things that matter, things that affect how your town works, whether you're in a competition or not. Gameplay features that let you unlock, like we talked about, new areas on the map, upgrade buildings, unlock new buildings, all kinds of things that you might have seen in other traditional types, sort of town or town or city simulations. So there's just so much more gameplay in there that we can add. I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, I mentioned social already. And we keep talking about competitions. There's going to be a big part of that. We've got a giant grocery list of normal gameplay features that people have seen and loved in the past, and also things that we can build on that we're currently doing. So we've just got so many ideas. We have to get to a new stable tech platform so that we can start just adding those in and get the right architecture too. And once we do that, then it's just off to the races.
How will we keep the long-term players motivated? Once the town is at full speed, there's nothing else to do.
Oh, well, that's pretty simple. By giving them more stuff to do. Part of what I know how to do, and what a lot of other people know how to do, is continue to roll out new content on a regular basis, new gameplay features, new interactions of players with their buildings and their animals and everything on the board. And we just keep doing that. Now that's part of our job as running a live game. It's almost like we're live entertainers. We have to come up in each week, every 2 weeks, roll something out new, keep people excited and interested that way. So that to me, it's one of those easy questions. But easy said, hard to do. But we know how to do that. We'll get that in there.
Hey, could there be more attractive quests and rewards for the play-to-earn servers in the future?
In terms of the quests and challenges and dailies and globals and all these wild things that we keep seeing suggested, I'm all in favour of definitely quests and stuff like that. More around that. In terms of rewards, what will they look like? Is that all? That again is probably just going to come down to a mixture of things between what's fun and what people want.
Yeah, I'll jump in there. So you guys, everybody who's played other simulation games or other strategy games, town games, farm games, whatever, restaurant games, that the generic term quest is kind of a list of things to do that the game makers, design, create their story around. There's some actions to take, and they just help add a lot more flavor to the world. So yes on that, absolutely.
Do you have any plans to add elements such as the application of weather or skills heroes into the game?
Yes. It sounds like I think I could probably go down the giant list of ideas and say yes to almost everything. But let me give a little more specific on this. There is, when you have a simulation in a game that's simulated, you got it all set up, and your town is running in equilibrium state. If you're in a competition, you've optimized that. It's fun as a game done right to have things that are a little bit randomizing, like a little bit of weather. And if there's storm, rolls through your map, not destructively, but in a positive way, makes your crops grow faster for a while, or I don't know, makes the trees go faster, or something else happens in a positive way. That's a pretty cool thing. And so I love that. And just, the idea of weather, there's all kinds of fun things you can do with that. In terms of the clouds and the visual effects and everything. And day-night too. Yes, everybody loves day-night. Here's my take on day-night. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And, do we want to, what happens when you come back and it's nighttime? Does your farm or your town still work as if it was daytime? So if I had to rank the two, I'd say weather, yes. Day-night, maybe. Probably, maybe. We'll have to see. Oh wait, there's a piece about heroes and leveling up stuff. Is that part of your question?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So again, I'll talk fundamentals. Everybody knows, it's a classic game mechanic. Classic gameplay is leveling up characters in an RPG, upgrading buildings in a simulation. We've got characters walking all around the town there. All your workers and your farmers and lumberjacks, etc. Well, yes. Wouldn't it be cool if you've got your farmer and he's walking, he's toiled all day long, all night long, and he gets a level up. Maybe, I don't know what that is, because we were brainstorming the other day about different types of level ups, but definitely we want to look at that. Again, it's all about prioritizing. So first we'll get fundamental game systems in there and working, and kind of get the broad strokes of the game in there, and then we'll be able to, once that's there with good technology, a good economy, and sort of good macro level gameplay design, Man, we could do so much cool stuff, and going deeper and stuff like leveling up your characters, making them heroes, even making them. I'll share one of the things we brainstormed about, and it's just a brainstorm. But if your sheep were out there and they've been eating grass for a couple of days, what if they could level up and their speed doubled, or they zipped across the board, or they warped across the board, so that suddenly your fields don't have to be as close to their pen as they were before, right? So things like that. But there's so much fun if we can just get to this other side of this tech transition, right?
I think that's super cool. I mean, and another direction was in terms of tech transition, and this is, digging into a little bit of what Family Man is saying here in the Townstar discussion. The idea of being able to build stuff out of parts. Those who have been here for a long time know that building shit out of parts, the concept of crypto crafting, was something that, at the very beginning we had as an important part of this, but, Ethereum being Ethereum and gas fees being gas fees made it completely impossible. That will be possible again with Jiri, and this sort of thing could very, very, very much be implemented if that was something that the team decided to do. Where you collect
Bitbender. So if people are going, hey, I'd like to get some magical insight into what may be coming in terms of like specific questions like that, if you just kind of go back and look at the games I've made in the past, you'll get a clue on what my thoughts are. If the features are in games in the past, there's a chance that more of a chance that they'll be in Townstar going forward in their right fashion, in the Townstar way. And that doesn't preclude other new features. I'm just saying, like, so about parts, for example, yes, that's such a cool thing, right? Going out and collecting parts, that's real great gameplay in itself. The collection aspect of it, do quests, get parts, and then build stuff with it. That's even cooler.
Definitely like to collect things. Collecting and leveling is for sure fun.
Yes.
So essentially what you're saying with all of that is that pretty soon I'll be able to build a gigantic airship that drops bombs on people.
I just saw that. This is not a combat game, right? I just saw that.
I mean,
there you go. Let me phrase it. The gameplay mechanics, the economy design, collecting resources, those kind of cover over. But I don't anticipate, unless we make a very, very special server, that we're going to be introducing war into this game. I'm not saying never say never, but right now we got so much other fun stuff we can do. Literally, there's a universe of fun stuff we can do before we get to Kirov's.
RTS gamer, I think. There's a bunch of like squiggles in front of your name, runes. Man, I haven't seen runes in a name in a long ass time. Anyway, asked if there is anything in the works to get crypto gaming more mainstream, specifically coming from us. Yes, absolutely. This is a thing that we're focusing on a tremendous amount right now, both in terms of partnerships with companies like Epic, where you'll be able to use your Epic sign-on to log into a Gala account, to integrating an actual Web3 wallet solution into the platform, so you don't have to go through such a high friction onboarding process. This is absolutely a major focus of a lot of what my squad specifically is doing, but everybody really. We recognize that this is needed.
Yes, Jiri will help too, right?
Yeah.
Jiri's going to be a giant help, right? It's just going to, let me say that Jiri's going to help a lot.
Yeah. Townstar generals.
In quick, and then we'll wrap it up because we are getting close to running out of time. Let's see. We've got some questions that came right from Crypto Faz. I'm curious about how complicated the economy of Townstar is eventually planned to be, and also how do you keep up with such complicated stuff such as coins, gems, locked Gala, locked town, NFTs that earn, and NFTs that only buff.
Got it. Yeah, I'll jump in on that one. This is one of those answers that sounds cryptic, but it's not. Just I like keeping things as simple as can be, and only as complicated as they need to be. A different way of saying that is I start simple and then kind of take a reductionist approach. How do we continue to drive complication and complicated UX out of a game? And it's just a relentless thing. Keep it simple. Keep it simple for the idea. And this comes not from nothing more than, hey, when someone plays a game, even the smartest people, they come to it to relax. They come to it to be entertained. They're not wanting to do calculus, right? Now I know competitions are different. Competitions are exciting, and people come to it for the challenge. But even still, you want the challenge. You want the challenge of playing. You don't want the challenge of figuring out, how do I actually get, thing one to connect to thing two and make some action as a result, right? So keeping it as simple at start and just continue to reduce complexity as we go. We also have, economy designers that are there, and their whole job, economy and systems designers, and their whole job is to take all the numbers behind the scenes in the spreadsheet, make them all balance, make them all work. So there is serious work there, but it makes their job much easier when the systems themselves are simple to start with.
All right, we got one more question here. Seeing that you have done some pretty high-end games, I'm curious of what you envision for the future of Townstar.
So there's a little bit more in that question too, right? So I could say this. So if you kind of look back some of the games I did, AAA, a lot of lighting, a lot of rendering, all kinds of stuff like that. Townstar's not that game. Townstar has its own visual look and style. It is the simplicity of the interface. We're going to work very, very hard to keep that. And I like the look of the game as it is right now. It's very unique. Now we will evolve the visuals a bit. But right now, I don't imagine it going, full hardcore, photorealistic or semi-photorealistic. We have a very good look and feel of the town. I want to keep that. I want to keep the way the game looks and feels there. So we will raise our production values a bit, but we're not going to be jamming it to look like Age of Empires or anything big and bulky like that. Keeping it light and fun is absolutely key.
All right, so we've got, looks like one more question, and then we'll bring it over to Mal to bring us home. We've got, for the Paladin, what have you seen since you joined the team?
Oh, okay. Wow, lots of. So I feel lucky that I joined a work in progress. Jamie that was leading the team before, and Mal, and also Volcron, and you too, Farmer Michelle, and Deuterino. You guys were already moving things in the right direction, getting momentum starting, and so I'm super excited. There's a strong team. Team's excited. We're ready to move forward, and then there's a lot of strong company support. That's absolutely key. I think we've talked about the changes in communication style. We really are, trying to get to that sort of get to the truth feeling. No more living on hopium. What we want to have happen is when we say stuff, you guys can count on it. And then if we make a mistake, we'll talk about it. If we say we're going to do something next week and it doesn't deliver, we'll kind of raise up and maybe give some insight on why, just so that you guys can understand that we are all working hard and trying to do our best on that.
I think there's another really important point here is that prior to this, Gala, all of it existed sort of as one sort of amorphous organization that was focusing on multiple different things. There were a few big chunky divisions, but there were a lot of shared resources. As of this organization, this month is the first month that this really starts. Everything is being split out into very discrete, hard-lined teams that only focus on the thing that they're supposed to focus on and nothing else. That's a huge change, and I think is going to make a really big difference.
I was not here during the pre to that change, but I love this direction. Our team feels super empowered to go get it done, go take the hill, climb the mountain, get success, serve the community and our players, make a great game. It's really refreshing.
Burn the boats. Take the island.
Yes.
All right, so we've only got a couple of minutes left. We're going to turn it over to Mal. We'll let anyone in the chat who wants to ask Mal any questions about leaks and beehives and all of that. We'll see if we can get him to be a little bit more leaky. Anyone out there got any questions?
Any leak questions? Honey, come on. Timers. I'm sure everyone wants to know timers and ingredients.
One pizza shop.
Favorite way to cook leeks? Not really sure, actually. Gonna have to go and look into cooking leeks. See if I can save them up better. When pizza shop. Not seeing any questions for leaks. Timers for bees. Well, there's 3 crafts. 260 seconds and 120 seconds for one of them. Smoogie, what question? What details? You're just asking for details with no list? This minute's wearing down quickly. When, honey? I hope very, very soon.
Rocket Unit lending will all be after Geary goes live.
Which will be?
Lending and rentals.
No idea on the renting. That will be probably when the tech people tell us a situation on that. We can give an update.
Yeah, it'll be really after Geary comes out. We got the Godot, then Geary, but it is on the long-term roadmap. Definitely can confirm that. So you guys, we basically told Mal he can link anything for 60 seconds there, and just say what he wants to talk about. So is that all the questions we're going to get?
I'm quite shocked, to be honest. They got asked and just didn't do nothing about it. Asked everything else other than about that, which is fun. I see someone say, well, clay is not going to cause pollution, but the pottery shop does not like it. Next week's meta should be honey if everything goes well.
Can we get some birds to go with our bees?
What's the 2-part meta? It's not a 2-part meta. The uniform and wine mention are separate metas. So they would be your only hint for August. Those should be roughly the builds you need to look at. Wine with a twist. And yeah, let's just say uniforms with a twist as well, actually. Won't just be your typical uniforms anyway. If the meta isn't honey coming up, I'm going to be very sad and we might be getting a vanilla. But we'll see what we can do and I'll let everyone know.
I think that's pretty much our time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the stage. We'll definitely be doing them more often. I will put out another form here in a minute for new questions for the next one. We'll see maybe next Friday, maybe the Friday after, depending on how many questions we get and answers. And we'll go from there. And thank you all for joining us.
Hey, thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.
Are you guys just waiting for me to say stuff? Bye, everybody. Nothing new to see. Still 170 people here. It's okay to leave now. Show's over.